Huh? All right, guys, when you're ready, start typing in the questions, and we're going to answer them. That's how it's going to work. We'll give you a good 30 minutes, try and help you guys out. Sean's smarter than me, so he's going to answer most of the questions. And I'm out of breath, too. So let's hear it. What do you got? You guys are sitting a lot more than you normally do. Driving, maybe. It's not walking, not being as active. What you got? Some feet, some knees, back, hips, shoulders, neck. We got one. What we got?
Chrissy says, I find I am scrunching my shoulder while I work, sitting all day, and literally while I sleep. Any suggestions for rolling or workout exercises to help?
You guys could try starting on your backs and elevating your backs. You have some blue Air pads? Please?
Yes, boss.
Thanks, boss. Chrissy from Providence writes, my neck is really scrunched up. Thanks, bud. When I sleep and when I type and when I work. Sounds like you could use some good chest opening to do so. Make sure you are elevated in a position where you can have your butt on the ground, but your upper back elevated like so. And then allow yourself, maybe prop yourself up with some pillows. Allow yourself to have your palms open. Head still supported. And let your hands and your palms just fall. Focus on breathing and focus on pulling your ribs down. That'll open up your upper back and your upper chest. This is called a sympathetic stretch because all your sympathetic muscles are here by your neck and your shoulders. If they're crunched up here, we want to open them up a little bit. So again, if you don't have like a yoga bolster, which would be great, you can prop up a bunch of pillows, preferably more firm, so you can hold your upper back on there. Stack them up against the back of the headboard, allow your palms. If you really want to get fancy, light weights in your hands and let them just fall. Focus on breathing anywhere from 8 to 15 breaths. That'd be a good way to do that. And also try to relax and stretch out your wrist flexors and your triceps. Because if they're all here all the time, and you're sleeping like so, open those guys up. Big stretches, manual releases, more breathing, more diaphragmatic breathing through here, as opposed to when you catch yourself breathing up like this, try to expand your belly out. Think breathing 360 degrees. All right? Thanks, Chrissy from Providence.
Let us know how that goes. Try it out.
Take pictures of it. Hashtag it.
What we got next? No question. You guys are nice and healthy.
They just screwed me. You gotta give them lifetime.
Ooh,
that's nice.
And social distancing.
Jason has a question.
Who?
Jason.
Uh-oh, Chazen, what you got, baby? Not about football, Chazen. There is no football.
Where are my good socks?
Under the drawer to the left, under the stack of magazines. Is that a real question? No.
No.
Okay. Who just joined in? I saw somebody join in.
Jason.
Oh. Damn it.
Right knee has been hurting. Kathy Grant. Right knee has been hurting, mostly behind the knee, but also out to the sides, mainly on the inside of the knee.
Okay.
So behind the knee and sometimes to the side, mostly inside.
Kerry, want to take that one? I'll grab the tool.
What do you grab?
Keep in mind they might not have surgery.
You need the question.
Kathy, when it comes to posterior or back knee pain, you can do a few things. You can do a couple of tests to see if you've increased your range of motion. So when you come sit with me, please. So if you can see the big man's feet, what we're going to ask him to do is you're going to have him back up a little bit. So when you have problems in the back of the knees, you want to address obviously the fascia in the back there, so you can take a ball out of a yellow ball. But the test is, before you start that, is a terminal knee extension. So what that means is you're going to squeeze your thighs, your quadriceps. Kerry's going to do it too, and we're going to see how much he can get his heels off the floor when doing this. So when he does it, you can't really see mine, but when you do it, you should have a bit of space. So if Kerry were to do it, and he squeezes his thighs real tight, can he lift his heels off the ground without moving his butt? The answer for him is no. Now, he actually has a lot longer limbs than I do. Well, let's play around. Let's do his left knee. We're going to put that down. We're going to push down and go side to side. The back of the knee
Is that behind the knee or
is directly behind the kneecap. Okay? So we're going to have him push hard as you can, and almost to the point where it's painful. So push in from side to side. What you're going to do is you're going to release that area, because what happens when we have a twisted knee or we step on something, the musculature around the knee kind of has memory, and it remembers to tighten up or tense to disallow that motion to happen again, because there was pain. So what we'll do is it'll tense up. Those muscles will tense at all times. And what that does to all the other muscles around, they're going to get fried out, and they're going to tax the other ones. The problem that's happening is there's a lot of tension driven from the back of the knee. So hopefully that cleared some stuff up. Is that painful? No. Okay. So I'm going to see if we can fire this quadricep and see if we can get the heel a little bit more off the ground. A little bit, not much. So the back of his knees are very, very tight. Now, the top of the kneecap, so we're going to bring his knee up. We're going to have him roll the top of his kneecap around and the inside. Ready? So we do that with the same ball. You could use a roller. What you want to do is clear all that out, the two spots, the back of the knee and the front. By doing so, you're going to release all those muscles, and you're going to allow the fossa, the musculature in the back of the knee, to kind of relax and go back to its normal job of flexion and extension.
What if they don't have a ball?
If you don't have a ball, if you have a rolling pin at home, that'll do. You can do the same thing. If you have maybe
Can of soup, you can use that.
A big can of tomato soup.
You can use your broomstick.
To mill it out.
I got a couple more.
But Kathy, give those a try, then reassess. Try walking up some stairs, do some lunges, just general movement, okay? Couple more, Heather says.
All right, Janice, how can I better manage tendonitis in my forearm/elbow?
All right, if you have some tightness in your forearm/elbow, I would say start rolling your forearm, because you're probably doing a lot more typing than normal. So this is getting overworked, which is also going to cause a lot of tightness in the elbow. So the first thing I would say to start with is rolling your forearm, okay? And also rolling your bicep and your tricep. All right, get the muscle loosened up. Start with that, see how that feels. Number two, start doing what we did in the warm-up of the last workout. You can do these rock backs here. All right, again, to try to release some tension in your hand and your wrist, which, again, all these flexors in here are tightening up more than likely, and that's what's pulling on your elbow. Once we get that area loosened up, a little bit more mobile, okay, we can do some drills. You can get a towel, or if you have another piece of foam, have one piece of foam and you're gonna twist. One goes forward, one goes back. All right. Like an Indian sunburn, yes. Remember those as a kid? Oh, I haven't had that in a while. Yes. So you're gonna do that, a couple of drills, going in both directions, okay, to attack that area. That's gonna add some strength and help rehab that. But as always, there's a lot of controversy out there. I'm a firm believer in icing to calm things down. So add some ice to it, especially after activity, if you're not gonna be doing a lot more typing later. So after a long day of work, add some ice to it to calm that area down. Try to do that 1 to 2 times a day. I guarantee you that'll clear it up.
All right. Grace wants to know, I find that I always have tightness in my right low back around level T12 to S1, even after stretching. And my right Achilles tendon has been a little tender as well, maybe due to stairs and running.
I don't know about you, Coach, but I would suggest starting from the ground up. It sounds like you have what we call isolated position where everything is on one side, it sounds like, and it's driving your hips to kind of hitch up. And if you're talking about, I don't know if you meant L1 to S1, but if you're having from T1 to S1, that's your entire back, so hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's just localized to one side of the right side of your back. If that's the case, usually, if you're talking about some Achilles pain driving all the way up, let's have you take off your shoes, maybe reassess and find out what's going on at the bottom of your the ball of your feet. Kerry had gotten for the gym those rock mats. If you don't have a rock mat, you can go outside and walk on some rocks. So you can get those feet ripping into the ground and then kind of rolling over those guys. You can spend the same thing Kerry's talking about, taking that can of soup. If you don't have a peanut or a ball, roll the back of your calves, or if you don't have a FMR stick, you can kind of take a rolling pin to it, clear up all that area, and then the last thing you're going to do before you start rolling your back out, you're going to spend some attention on your glutes, specifically your piriformis area. So you're looking at your two cheeks there where the thumbs meet. If you're holding up a pair of cheeks, butt cheeks, where your thumbs meet, that would be the piriformis area. So it's a very small bandwidth area. It's at the bottom of your bum. It's hard to get at. So when you're using your foam roller or a ball or a can of soup, what you're going to do is you're going to cross over your leg, and that's going to get that spot. You're going to want to clear that up, brace on your right side, see how that feels, reassess everything, try walking up some stairs, same thing we asked Kathy to kind of retest everything back out and see if that dulls or that dull back pain dissipates. If it doesn't, reach back out to us and so we can help you with it.
Also, just to jump back for a second, Kathy, when you're working out, try to make sure you're not rushing through the movements as far as what's going on with your lower body. If you happen to be jumping, be cautious of how you land. You don't want to land stiff-legged. You want to be able to land and absorb the landing, let the muscles do the work that they're supposed to do. If you're landing stiff-legged, your joints and everything is taking the brunt of that, which is going to throw everything out of alignment. Janice, if you are at a computer a lot more, see how you're sitting. See where your seat is. If you're too low and you're up like this, okay, that's an issue. So you want to raise yourself up to a higher seat. So now I'm typing here more at an even range and your body's in a good position. Grace, for you, assess how you sit, how you sleep, all those things. You may be doing something in your sleep that is causing an issue. So if you guys are side sleepers, okay, and you happen to sleep like so, think of your body. It's basically stretching everything in your back and you're crunched up like this. When you wake up and you start to move, now your back isn't ready for it. So you can elevate your leg up with a pillow at night or put a pillow in between your legs. Yes, it looks funny, I know. It's a horrible pillow. It's not my pillow. But put a pillow in between your legs. I know you may say, well, I sleep wild, so on and so forth. Well, doing this throughout the night for an hour, if you stay there for an hour, is going to be better than nothing, all right? What we're trying to prevent is your hips from crossing while you sleep. If you can stay in a good neutral position, when you get up and get out of bed, you'll be a lot better off. Because once we get up, as soon as we stand up and get out of bed, gravity is now pulling down to the ground, which is compressing everything and causing issues. So look at how you guys handle natural life, because more than likely, it's not from the workout, it's how life is going for you. So assess those things and let us know.
All right. Coach wants to know, after surgery on my IT band, hip flexor on the left side is so much tighter than my right. What can I do to even things out?
Trim your mustache on that side.
I love your mustache, Coach.
If it's very, very tight, like we've talked about before, doing a true hip flexor stretch, when you go to roller.
Can you guys repeat the question?
Sorry?
Repeat the question, please.
Oh, I thought you were audible.
I'm trying to be, but I don't know.
Coach Rick's mustache asks, post-surgery on his leg, he is still having hip flexors strain and tightness on the left side only. So a true hip flexor stretch to make sure you're not overdoing first, and then you can assess what's going on here. Make sure your knee is down. You have a roller. The key is to make sure from the back, from the top of my head to the back of my knee, I'm not extending far back, because this feels like a stretch, but it's actually not stretching. All you're doing is running your hip into the end range of motion. It feels like a stretch because everything feels tight. That's what you tell yourself all the time. But as you lean forward, you'll get a bigger and deeper stretch in the thigh and in the hip flexor. Pushing down as opposed to pushing forward will put more stretch on your actual hip flexor as opposed to running it into your acetabulum, and then it's just end range motion. Already, it's the equivalent of just doing this and holding. Wow, it really does it. Doesn't do it all the time, and you're not actually doing anything. You're just running into the end range motion. So gradually lean forward and down, but not all the way out. All right, that's one way to stretch it. If you're still having pressure there, we're gonna have you look in different areas as opposed to just looking at the left hip flexor. See how your glutes are as far as soft tissuing and stretching them out. There might be tightness here that's disallowing extension of your hip. And then let's have you try maybe rolling underneath the diaphragm to alleviate some of the stress that is pulling. So your diaphragm and your muscles of your psoas and your iliacus and psoas, they all kind of tie in on the same side, and they're all on the same line. They could all be pulling. It's like wearing a really weird tight sweater pulling you one way. This is where you feel tightness. When you actually, if you just fix the sweater, this will eventually go back to feeling loose again. Any other?
Just to add a slight addition to that stretch Sean was talking about, when you press down, okay, at the same time, squeeze the same side butt cheek. All right, that's gonna help open things up. So press, squeeze, and then drive forward. You'll feel that get in there a little bit better for you. That's all I got.
And trim your mustache.
All right, Michael's wife Leslie asks, for good tricep exercises, what's the most effective for a 39-plus-year-old woman?
How much time do you have, Leslie? You start with one. I got one in my head.
All right. So good tricep exercise, simple and easy. If you're going to, depending on what tools you have, all right, you can lay on the floor. You want to use a dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, anything you want. The key to using and activating your triceps is to bend at the elbow and lock out and squeeze, all right? The tricep acts as an extensor, so we're going to extend the arm, flex the tricep, come down under control, and flex the tricep. That's a good simple one you can start to add in. If you are comfortable with it, just use one dumbbell, extend back and down, back and down. That's a simple one you can do lying on the floor.
If Michael has any kettlebells, Leslie, you can. Can I just do it again? Sure. Thanks, brother. That left tricep isn't as big as his right. We gotta work a little bit. So if you have his left arm up, kettlebell actually provides, right. Your other left. Kettlebell actually provides a good amount of work if you can handle it, depending on. There will be less stress on the elbow, but what you're going to do is you have to make sure you're not smashing your face. So as I hold him in place and he flicks right back up, you get a little bit of bicep, yes, for stabilization, but that tricep's getting a ton of work. There's not a lot of stress on the wrist because if you can tell, he's not white knuckling, he's keeping it nice and loose, and that elbow is not taking any more or less stress. Now, make sure that you're doing it right. Make sure you're at a good angle, so you be at 90 degrees. If for whatever reason your arm travels while you do this, that's going to have a pitch. It's going to go forward, and then that elbow and that stress is going to happen because now he's moved out of position, and now so you can see the kettlebell's resting on the ground. You're best not to let the kettlebell or weight rest on the ground. So you give that one a try. If you have a band, and you can tether your band. So I can pretend like Kerry's the tether. Social distancing.
He latches on the Michael, he acts up.
You can do snap downs. The band isn't going to have a lot of tension like where a cable or a rope might. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the end of it, snap down and across. You're going to try triceps 3, 1, 2, 3, at 3 heads. You're going to try to go away from the body and then come in towards the body, try to hit all 3. That hurt? Oh, not good, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So you can do that, snap down and then in, snap down and in.
So he showed you the one-arm version. You can, if one band is too much, All right? If Sean is my tether, you can go here, extend your arm out. Sean, extend your arm. There you go. All right? If this position is too much, you'll put 1 foot forward and extend the arm from there. If you're using the band, try to aim for anywhere between 15 to 20 reps, 3 sets, 3 to 4 sets. All righty? Try those out, let us know how it goes.
Get rid of those hully gullies.
What we got?
All right, Robbie says, I've developed trigger thumb, possibly when gripping the larger handles on the competition-sized bells, question mark.
Coach, that's you. It's me, competition man.
All right, so obviously I can't see how you're holding the kettlebell, but Robbie, you do a ton of work with your hands, okay? So one, I would say start with kind of with the same thing. So with earlier, get a ball or something, you can, or whatever you can, something that will roll around, apply it underneath your hand, and really dig in there, get right into your thumb, right here, get into the palm, roll it around, dig in there. All right, start that off, number 1. Number 2, you grab a bell, hold on.
While Coach getting that bell, if you remember going to Walmart or Zayre's, if you put a quarter in the little thing outside the door in the vestibule, you can turn the knob and you get super happy fun bouncy ball, the little bouncy balls. You put that in a Ziploc bag, we get a bunch of them, and roll your palms on that. That'll help out, kind of free up that palmar fasciitis that you have because you're using your, like Coach was saying, you're using your hands on everything for work and life and your kettlebell.
So one thing to make note of, when you're using a competition-sized bell, I'll try and get closer so you guys can see, you can't hold it, or try not to hold it, as you will with a fitness bell. Competition bell, you really want to be down in that angle. All right, so it's not resting up in here. Have it down at that angle, so it's resting right along this ridge right here. And obviously try to keep your hands loose, okay? Don't overtax it and grip it because you have a big sphere on one side. Just the tendency is for people to really grab hard onto it because the weight's on the outside. Try to stay relaxed and be able to move around with that bell. Start with that, let us know how it goes.
Anybody else?
Any other questions for us?
I'm gonna take about 1 or 2 more.
1 or 2 more if you got it. Ask away, please. We're gonna do our best to kind of keep you guys healthy. Let us know what you got. It can be simple, it can be exercise related, life related, whatever you need.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
The arch of my feet have been hurting a lot.
Okay.
What do I do?
Heather from Pawtucket writes, the arch of your feet. All right, so
Specifically the inside. Like,
gonna get all footy.
Back up,
back,
back
back.
up, back up, back up.
So if you're gonna look at the arch of your foot,
Back up.
she's talking about inside here. Other than the rocks, getting into the rocks a little bit, you can do some Germex or whatever you want, whatever kind of lotion. There's a big ridge that ties in to all the musculature underneath the foot on the side. If you want to take your foot, find the ridge. So, I don't know if you can see from my awesome footing, but the super happy fun.
You gotta get like right in the middle of the leg.
Oh, this is gonna be nasty. So, this ridge underneath, you're going to try to get your fingers underneath that with some, maybe some lotion will be helpful. Try to free up that area. What that's going to do is get it to the front.
Sorry.
That was me, my fault. I got excited.
Coming back, coming back.
My freeing
And
up the side.
we're back.
Here, freeing up, oh, what a donut. Freeing up the side will help free up the musculature and the intrinsic muscles in the front. And when doing that, you're gonna practice some drills. You're gonna do some gripping drills down, like I'm grabbing this towel, and up. And when you do so, there are plenty of other drills other than the gripping and releasing. You wanna practice pushing down on one, lifting, Pushing down on all four, lifting. May seem easy, but you have to practice it. What that's going to do is going to kind of floss out all the musculature on the bottom, because when you move your big toe, that actually fires all the way up to your calves, all the way up to your opposing shoulder. So we want to get that musculature flossed out by doing some work on the side and in the front, and then do your exercises. So release, then exercise, and then just kind of clear all the bases. The rock mat we were talking about before, maybe go walking on some rocks, get your feet barefoot, kind of get into more gripping patterns to help turn on and off. Usually what that cramping is, it means those muscles want to actually move and they're mapped down. Imagine wearing oven mitts on your hands all day and just stepping, and not getting enough of that grip to run all the way up and tell the body what the hell is going on underneath. So again, big toe down, lift up your toes, little toes down, big toe up. Okay, practice that.
Yeah. Okay. What we got? Anything else?
I'm afflicted by a bald patch.
All right, I have another one.
All right, we got one more. Heather from Cape Cod writes.
I've been finding that the back of my neck is super tight and tired feeling, heavy. And I think it's obviously from being like this.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to help that?
All right, so Heather writes, her neck is acting up.
I'm back in my neck.
All right, so I'll start off and I'm handing it off to Knucklehead. Number one, as we said before, assess how you are living your life, okay? Right now, a lot of you are probably at a computer a lot more than you used to, or watching Netflix a lot more than you used to, so you get into a habit of looking down a lot more, okay? So job number one is to assess if you are doing this. You're looking at your phone, seeing what's going on social media, at your computer, laying on the couch, sitting back, but also sitting up, all right? So this is getting a lot of strain. If that is the case, obviously raise your phone up, try and get your computer screen up higher so you're not looking down. You want to be up tall, looking straight ahead, okay? And if you're on the couch, turn off the TV. How's that? Do some exercise, all right? That's where I would start. And where did you go? He left me. All right, so it's just me. So then, if you've corrected all that and you're still getting some issues, this is what we want you to look at.
Move that back to where I use it. Hey, thanks. Thank you, Onge. So, like Heather from Sandwich Breading, you want to make sure that your overall position, and as Coach was talking about, if you're talking about exercises to do on top of the stretches he asked you to do and reassessment of what you're actually positionally looking like, one of the drills we would have Heather from Sandwich do is practicing a tuck chin position up against the wall. So, can I meet you that little sub wall? You can see that? Great. So you can wedge yourself in. Make sure the small of your back's into the wall. All right, so already if you can see from the corner, his shoulders are a little bit rounded. So I'm actually going to have him pull the small of his back into the wall. Now pull your shoulders back gently. Now my hand is smelly. We're supposed to keep social distancing. Kerry's making that smells awful. Germicide. So he's making a double chin. It's called the double chin. You can do it prone, meaning on hands and knees. It'd be like a kind of like a cat back or cow position in yoga. You make that double chin. You have to practice that when you're actually doing some of your electronics. This would be an excellent drill. So you do anywhere from 5 to 8 reps in that position. Again, the back on the wall provides support, so you actually know to not use your lower back and know how much your shoulders are rounding forward in that position. But also, if I were to have Kerry come off the wall, if you want to get fancy, you get to a bottoms-up kettlebell walk in the same position with that double chin. Now, he's got a counterbalance kind of walking out in front of him. He can't allow his shoulder to pitch forward because he's got 20 pounds going to pull him in either direction, either forward or to the side. But notice his head position. It's really, really hard to have a bad position with your neck and head with 20 pounds out in front of you. The other drill, the other exercise he's doing is maintaining his core position that he had on the wall. So there's no chance for him to use the lower back to lean forward, lean back, because that counterbalance is here. The weight isn't necessarily the most, the weight isn't necessarily the big end. It doesn't have to be super heavy, but you have to be conscious of what's out in front of you. If you run into problems with the shoulder, meaning that the weight's too much, move your elbow to the outside of your body to allow your armpit, your lat muscles to turn on, so it's not all stress on the shoulder. Again, that counterbalance is just there. Make sure you can't hit your hip forward and round your lower back and get into a bad shoulder and posture position. Going back to what Coach was saying about the releases, a penile will do. If you don't have a penile, maybe you have the cross balls taped together. You can kind of free up everything. So turn your back to the camera. You can run up these guys. See how this little spacer is there to protect the spine? You don't want to go directly on the spine. You go all the way up to your occipital nerves, as these two, like on mine, are very pronounced. I have a very fat head in the back. So mine are very pronounced. Kerry doesn't really have one, so lucky him, but I don't have a fat head. You don't have a fat head like me. Your two occipital nerves, those guys tie into your toes all the way down, so you want to free those guys up. So again, based on Heather from Pawtucket and Heather from Sandwich, sounds like she's got something going on her feet and the back of her head. I'm going to guess they're both linked. So you ladies should talk to each other. All right.
All right, guys.
Close up. I'm going to go because I got 8 people waiting.
All right, baby. All right, guys, thank you for that. If you didn't get a chance to ask your questions because you got scared and nervous, send them to us, email us, and we'll answer you back to help you out. Okay? Remember, guys, keep your body moving every day. Tomorrow, we're back here with that guy to loosen up your body a little bit. Get ready for the Sunday workout with that girl who just walked by, Kimmy and Alicia, who's here somewhere. All right, so tune in. We'll have some fun. Keep them going. You guys need anything, please reach out to us. We're here for you, and we'll be waiting. All right, love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and we're out.